In this video, I'm going to show you all the mistakes people make at level 1 of air dribbles, the wall to air dribble. This is so important because most players start making bad habits here as they start learning. I'm going to break it down step by step so you know exactly what to do, and by the end of this video, you'll have all of the info to build a strong foundation at this level. For those who are new, my name is Sean. I'm a former pro with over 10,000 hours in Rocket League. So, firstly, what's really important about the setup is that we're making sure that when we contact the ball with our first touch, that the touch being the one where we hit it off the wall, is that we're using the jump at the same time. Basically, our jump is synonymous with our first touch. That's really good to do when you have ideal setups like this, where it's rolling up the wall perfectly, already aligned with your momentum. You won't get them super often in game, but they do come along, so it's important to be able to execute. So what I'm thinking about when I do this in terms of setup is I'm always trying to loft the ball high and forward towards the net. Obviously, when there's no one immediately challenging you, right? So when I'm here, loft the ball high and forward. How do we do that? Well, what I'm focusing on is I'm trying to hit equally behind and underneath the ball. So up from underneath the ball at a diagonal, basically. That alongside, I'm trying to match the ball's pace and move slowly and not jump into the ball too hard. So what I'm focusing on to not jump into the ball too hard is I'm very lightly tapping my jump button. That's really important. A lot of people will struggle because they're slamming their jump button, and those will bring you almost to the ceiling a lot of times when you really hit your jump button hard. Obviously good for ceiling shots, not so much in air dribble. So you want to hit your jump button lightly so that we're lofting the ball forward. And then to get back to the ball, what I'm focusing on is a simple tornado spin. All I'm doing on the tornado spin is I'm pushing my analog stick about halfway to the barrier. I'm using arrow left for reference, so it's going to be halfway to the right, and then if you're using arrow right, it will be vice versa. And all that does is what I'll demonstrate here. You jump off the wall, and you get your car to point down and forward when you tornado spin right off launch. That creates a really simple and consistent way to get your nose faced back at the ball, while also being pointed down enough to actually get underneath it. Because if we just jump off the wall and spin, yeah, we get back face towards the ball, but we're going upwards still. We haven't pointed our nose down at all. Once we point our nose down, we actually have a chance to get back underneath the ball like this. So even without any spinning afterwards, so just the tornado spin takeoff and boosting, once my nose gets faced back towards the ball, you'd call that like finding the line, aligning your nose with the ball. It looks like this. Now you can see we're actually able to air dribble to the net and without any other rolling than that. The only roll I'm doing is the tornado spin off the wall, and we're actually able to carry it all the way to the net if I boost it up properly without touching the ground. So, you know, when you're a beginner at air dribbling and you're trying to practice in wall to air dribble, keep the spinning really simple, just the tornado spin off the wall. Obviously practice on both sides because it feels a little bit different from one wall to the other. For example, up the left wall here with arrow left, you only have to spin that much to actually get your nose back. So it takes a lot less spinning. Personally, I find it much more comfortable to spin a little bit more and then do it. That's always just been my kind of thing. Or if you have both directional air rolls, you can just do whichever one you prefer on each wall. That is also completely viable, but just make sure you mirror them, practice both sides, because you don't want to be really good at one side and then it comes up in game where you need to go off the other wall and you're struggling. I've tried shot 1 here, which is like the most ideal setup for an air dribble you could probably get, which is why this pack is so popular. Shot 2 here, we just have to wait for it to pass us a little bit, but kind of the same things apply in terms of the setup and the spin back to it. I'll do it without all the extra spinning. As we can see here, it's not the prettiest air dribble, by no means exactly what I'd do in game, but we're talking about simple practice, being able to get back underneath the ball, fly it towards the net. This is kind of how you want it to look. Just one little turn, make sure your nose gets up, kind of boost it towards the net, and work from there. You also notice that I am allowing that separation to come between me and the ball. That's kind of the other big part of a setup, is you can't be glued right next to the ball and be going really fast at it. If I go to free play, for example, and I do a self setup, just put the ball on me, and I boost all the way with it, and I never leave the balls, like the side of the ball, what's often going to happen is you're going to get a pop that moves really far away from you and really fast and high, and that's going to be impossible to air dribble, just like it did there. So you want to make sure you create separation or maintain separation as it goes to the wall. So as you can see on the first shot, you see I'm letting the ball roll up and then I'm following after it. Same thing here. I'm going to let the ball roll up and then I'm going to jump out after it. And of course with shot 3, which is closer, same thing. The only thing that changes as you get closer to the net here is, I mean, honestly, usually you're going to want to incorporate more creative plays instead of just air dribbling right at the net. When we're talking about at least getting it on net, you don't want to be diagonally behind the ball anymore, because then you're going to go at the backboard. So what we want is to be more underneath the ball and actually take it out a little bit. We want out more than forward. Still high, still lofted, but you want to take the ball out. So you'll see that what I'm doing here is once I approach the ball, I'm kind of just straight underneath it almost, and I'm coming straight out off the wall. And then I'll push it towards the net. And the same things apply with the tornado spin. Jump off the wall, tornado spin. Okay, that one's too close to me. Jump off the wall, tornado spin. I'm underneath it, and now I can just fly. It's a little bit different of a movement, obviously. It takes a little bit of getting used to, but it is the same thing on principle. That was a really good example. I will let this one play to kind of illustrate. It's still just the jump off the wall, the light jump tap, into the tornado spin until my nose is faced back around to it, and then just flying. And that's how you get your most basic air dribbles down, which is what wall to air dribble is going to be really useful for.